Hello, welcome to my channel. Today I am going to be doing a short video on how I like to layer and do my harmonies. I'm going to be using the example Whatcha. I understand the original song is Hide and Seek by Imogen Heap. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but this is the more common version by Jason Derulo. So I did a short part of the most common part of the song, and I did it with harmonies, and I'm just gonna show you how I did it and how maybe that can help with maybe if you're doing harmonies and all those kinds of things. So I'm going to play the whole section, then I'm going to break it down, each vocal and how I did it. I used the software BandLab. It's online, though I have it on my phone. uh it's very good for vocals. I actually use it almost entirely for vocals. So if I'm doing a vocal track instrumental, I do the vocals on BandLab, then import to the other software like Logic or Cubase. But yeah, I think it's very good for vocals. It also does other instruments. It's pretty good for instruments. I don't have a problem with it for instruments, but I like using BandLab specifically for vocals. So yeah, this was the whole section, how it will sound all together. What you say? That you want it well, of course it is. What you say? That it's all for the best. I'm going to start with the lead vocal. Normally, when you're recording harmonies or vocals that have harmonies, most of the time it's the lead that starts. So my first voice is the lead, which is this. What you say? That you only meant well, of course it is. What you say? That it's all for the best. Then I like to texturize the lead by adding a second lead. So I won't duplicate the duplication. Doesn't really help much when you want a good texture. So I record another lead and I variate it a little. So this was my second lead. What you say? That you only meant well, of course it is. What you say? That it's all for the best. So altogether, they sound kind of similar but a little texturized. So it will sound like this. What you say? That you only meant well, of course it is. What you say? That it's all for the best. And then for aside from the main harmonies, I like to use I want to say pedal notes, but they're not exactly pedal notes. Some specific. Mostly I use the tonic, the supertonic, and the submedian. So that's the do, the re, and the la. And then I add them. They're like kind of like pedal notes, but a little bit variated. So for this song, I used all of them. I used the tonic, and I used the supertonic, and I used the submedian. So this is the tonic, how I used it. What you say? That you only meant well. What you say? All for the best. Yeah. So obviously the tonic is do. That just maintain that tone almost throughout the note, throughout the whole. A little bit variated where it requires to be variated. Supertonic. Do re. What you say? So this was it. What you say? Only meant well. What you say? All for the best. I like using the supertonic. It sounds really good. Brings a nice dissonance kinda, but it also sounds really good. Like especially for like cadences, when you have like a major chord, then you add like the supertonic. It sounds really good. Also the submedian, which is the la. What you say? Only meant well. What you say? All for the best. So yeah, most sorts, if you notice, just like it's one note, it just drops for like, or like varies a little where it requires, but it's just mostly yeah, flat like that. So all of the tonic, the supertonic, and the submediant together will sound like this. What you say, that you only meant well. What you say, all for the best. So with that, now let's see how they sound together with the lead vocals. It will sound a little bit weird, but it will make sense, trust me. So this is how it sounds together with the leads. What you say, that you only meant well, of course it is. What you say, that it's all for the best. So for the main harmonies, I just did two. I wasn't able to add the lower voice because my vocal range doesn't allow me to go that low. But it's mostly for harmonies, you have the lead, you have the high voice, a middle voice, and a low voice. I don't want to use the word tenor, bass, alto, but it's kind of like that. So for my first high voice, this was it. Much say, not you only meant well, of course it is. Much say, that it's all for the best. Harmonies. So this was the fifth per se, but yeah. Much say, not you only meant well, of course it is. Much say, that it's all for the best. And also another thing I like to do with my harmonies is unity and variety. So they won't be too different. There's a point where they kind of meet together. So my main harmonies together sounded like this. Much say, not you only meant well, of course it is. Much say, that it's all for the best. So if you notice, for my first voice, my first harmony, much say, not you only meant well. I didn't go well. I went well. So that it could unite with the second harmony. That's what I mean by unity and variety. I would have done the other type, but the note was already represented by one of the pedal notes, so I didn't really require it as much. Texture. The pedal notes are good for texture and adding flavor to the song. But technically, with the lead and maybe one variated lead and the two main harmonies, that's the third and the fifth, you still have a good harmony. So it will sound like this. Much say, not you even well, of course it is. Much say, that it's all for the best. It already sounds okay, but I like to add it. That's why I added the tonic, the supertonic, and the submediant, just to add a little bit of flavor, so that it will now come together and sound like this. Much say, not you only meant well, of course it is. Much say, that it's all for the best. Much say, not you only meant well, of course it is. Much say, that it's all for the best. So yeah, that's basically how I like to do with my vocals and how I layer my harmonies and how I do my harmonies. If you like, if this helped you, that's good. If you'd love me to do a different type of song and how I will harmonize that song, you can leave a suggestion in the comments and I will try it out. Yeah, otherwise, thank you for watching. Goodbye.